Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Okay, alright, let's get done with the video. Well, Mickey Mouse is out of jail. Okay, maybe not actual jail, but a particular version of him is out in the public domain. In case you don't know about what I'm talking about, the very first iteration of Mickey Mouse from the Steamboat Willie cartoon circa 1928 is now public domain, meaning that this Mickey Mouse is available for everyone to defile, destroy, and make shitposty memes. I love it so much. Which is cool, but, you know, I'm also sure that Disney is freaking out about this and, you know, just losing their absolute fucking minds. But nonetheless, though, this situation reminds me of a little old Mickey Mouse game called Epic Mickey. I remember renting this game from the video store as a kid. Holy shit, okay, I think I just realized that I'm probably like one of the last generations to even use a video store. Anyways, so I rented this game for a weekend and that was it. And it's strange too because like I got a copy of this game like a long time ago and I just haven't touched it since like I got it. And oh my god, this game is a mixed bag. Like more mixed than a bag of trail mix. Like holy shit. Words cannot express how I feel about this game because there's a lot of amazing dope shit in it, but then there's a lot of like weird questionable design choices and yeah, so it's a strange journey we're gonna go through. So grab your brush and paint thinner because we're gonna... Yeah, what's up? I'm recording right now. What do you want? Really, dude? Right now? Okay, alright, fine. You get like 6 minutes max, okay? Just don't huff any paint on camera. Oh, that's good shit right there, brother. That is good shit. You smell that? That ain't acrylic. That's oil right here. Hello there. Welcome to Carl DuBois painting program. And today we're going to be painting a picture of the little Mickey Mouse. Now I have a cup of paint thinner right here I can dip my brush into to clean it off. Now, I don't advise anybody to drink the paint thinner. I was locked in the hospital for 48 hours because I thought that the paint thinner was gin. It gives the same effect as what gin would, but you won't wake up the next day. Now, I'm going to start detailing on this little rat bastard named Mickey Mouse, and I'll tell a story. You see, me and Mickey Mouse have an interesting relationship. I caught the little rat bastard picking at my cheese after a long, hard day of work, and I saw him out in my fridge, and I didn't take very kindly to that. I grabbed him and I strangled him, and I tell him, "What the hell are you doing with my cheddar, boy?" He profusely apologized, and then by the end of that, he eventually just fucked off somewhere else. I'm not sure where he went, but come to have it the next day, I come home from work and my cheese is missing. Now, listen, I don't remember eating any of that cheddar. But apparently, the little bastard ate some of it again. So I did decide to, you know, I did the adult thing and I left a little trap out. And, you know, he won't be with us anymore after that. Now it's key to have confidence in your stroke, you know? It's like when you're in bed with your lady, right? You gotta have confidences in your strokes. Now notice the little details right here. You see these are little bite marks right here, you know, because he's a ferocious little rodent, you know? A lot of people misunderstand Mickey Mouse because he's a cartoon character. To me, he's just a rodent. So what I did is I strangled him to get a hold of him right here, and I told him, "You get out of my damn fridge, you little shit." Now we're gonna come back to this after our regular scheduled program and let this paint dry for a little bit before I add more pizzazz and details to it. So the plot begins as Master Yensid is crafting a world with his magical paintbrush and leaves it for the night, and then suddenly a little rat bastard decides to try to fuck with the paint and messes with the powers beyond his wildest dreams, knocks over a big thing of paint thinner, and the magical ink monster appears, and Mickey freaks the fuck out and leaves, and he goes to bed and then gets abducted by the ink monster and is forced to and then he's pretty much like forced into this world that Jens had created. So that's pretty much how the game starts. Mickey travels through this world that is filled to the brim with old characters that were lost and forgotten from time. And the leader of this world is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So the world is in disarray because of this tragedy due to this paint thinner wiping out a chunk of the world and taking Oswald's girlfriend with it. Okay, that's just fucking sad. Mickey is accompanied by a gremlin sidekick named Gus.
The story is told through these beautifully animated cutscenes. However, the lack of voice acting kind of makes me want more from them. Like, it's cool, you know, it's nice and spastic, but I kind of wish they actually like added voice acting, because I think that would have been really cool and interesting, but whatever. They're flashy and a nice change of pace from the dark, gloomy environments that take up like 80% of this game. I swear to God. So this game is very dark and a little bit like more mature compared to like anything else I've seen Mickey Mouse do. It's definitely a darker tone, not only with the aesthetics, but the actual themes of the game. Also, not to mention, this game introduces a strange morality system that affects gameplay and story, but I'll get into that later. I really do enjoy the art style and the way they approached making the worlds that Mickey goes through. So Mickey ends up at this mad doctor's lab, right, where his heart is about to get stolen from him, and then he ends up escaping. He takes the magic brush in hand, meets Gremlin Gus, and they set off on their quest to get Mickey the fuck out of this world.
Hello there, thank you for returning to Call Du Bois' painting program, and so far we have done a really good job on it so far. You see, notice how I painted his shorts blue this time with some gold buttons. I wanted to avoid a certain legal lawsuit with Disney, because I'm not Lord knows I ain't brave enough to take on Disney. Ho, hell no. So yeah, so I also added the color into the ears, and I enhanced everything else, because he is a little black rat and he's a little asshole. So now I'm trying to find a good color mixture to make my arms and everything. So far, just waiting right now, but it's shaping up to be something a little special. So let's get on back to our regularly scheduled program.
Cool, so you go through some worlds, you meet Oswald, where the actual plot starts. Now, Oswald despises Mickey. He hates him with every fiber of his being, and he wants him to leave, which, you know, understandable. And Mickey is technically the only one that can leave the world, because he's the only one that has a heart, since everyone else is I guess a creation from ink, technically, because Yensid is the one that created this world and created these characters. So yeah, I know there's a lot to fucking unpack. And the biggest thing that I appreciate about this game is that it acknowledges the history of Disney and Walt themselves, and they're willing to give these characters another shot at coming back to the spotlight. What I mean is that back in the day, Oswald was created by Walt Disney. However, the rights to him were owned by Universal Studios, and eventually Disney had to abandon the rabbit to create Mickey and develop Disney Studios as we know today. Disney eventually were able to reacquire Oswald. Now, he is on the Disney roster, but unfortunately, the company doesn't seem to care about him still to this day. Now, why am I giving you a history lesson? Because I think it's very important to understand what really happened, because the game thrives off of this narrative to bring these two characters together, making them seem like long-lost brothers. And it does a really good job at building these two together as sort of like kindred spirits. There's actually a statue in this game that's very reminiscent of Walt Disney statue with Mickey, you know, in like Disney World and Disneyland, right? However, instead of Mickey being there, it's Oswald, because Oswald still sees Walt as his dad, but it's still of memory. And then this kind of fucks with Mickey, because Mickey's like, wait, that's my daddy. What the hell happened? I don't understand. So you go through these worlds and try to collect these parts to build a rocket ship to send you off out of the world, but this big ass oogie boogie looking ink blot tries to foil your plans, and you end up going into this castle where you started off. Now, I found something that really struck a chord with me personally whenever I was exploring the last dungeon of the game. It was in the throne room, where you repair these paintings and show off how the world was before the Great Thinner Disaster. And then you see two pictures of Oswald, one with his girlfriend and one without. And holy shit, did this change the tone for me even more. I have never seen anything like this. So fucking depressing, genuinely somber in a Disney property with characters like this. It's like actually like really fucking sad, and a perfect example of visual storytelling. Like, you don't have to explain it, you can just see how Oswald has been acting and how he's been feeling for the past like years, as of, you know, recently in this whole incident. It's just insane. Showing off that this dude is going through so much grief and how his life has turned out. Man, I want to give my boy Oswald a hug. He fucking deserves it, honestly. And near the end of the game, once you defeat the ink black guy, you can go into his big old belly and then pretty much just destroy him from the inside. You know, and then the game ends and then everybody's all happy and dandy and everything. That's cool. Anyways, yeah, so I think the overall narrative of this game is probably the strongest suit, and I think it would have served better as a short film or some kind of movie. But unfortunately, the gameplay doesn't really match what the story brings.
Oswald and Mickey are, in some ways, each a mirror for the other. Brave, resourceful, and good of heart. I hope they become friends, and perhaps more, perhaps even brothers.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Call Du Bois' painting program, and right now we are almost done with the Mickey Mouse painting. Right now I just got to do a little details on the arms, and let's get started now, shall we? Let's just go ahead and get on here. Now notice how I added the red background because it looks awful. You know, it makes the picture pop out a little bit more. Gonna add a little black to his pupils, and then, oh baby, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. That is the representation of me strangling Mickey Mouse after I caught him trying to eat my damn cheddar. What's that, lemon yellow? Oh, that is divine right there.
Now, when it comes to gameplay, this game is very, very, very rough. Now, it has a lot of high highs, but it's also very low sometimes. Now, the main gimmick of this game involves you using the Wiimote and Nunchuck to paint the world and use paint thinner to erase the world. Now, I also got my hands on the Nunchuck that is a part of this game, but I feel that it's very uncomfortable and the buttons are way too close to each other. It's a cool collector's item though, but overall though, I think this is a pretty shitty controller. Now, this is a 3D platformer collectathon type game, meaning that you walk around in a sandbox and collect shit. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but the platforming is clunky and dog shit. I mean, it makes the game feel like such a slog to get through. There are these projector screens you can hop through and, you know, it move you on to the next world. But then when you hop in these things, it takes you to a level, which is sort of like a transition to like the next world. Okay, so it turns into a 2D platformer level, and now the aesthetics of it is really cool because, you know, you hop into these projector screens that are supposed to resemble an old cartoon from back in the day. But the problem is that it looks cool, but it doesn't play cool, okay? Now the developers of this game are Junction Point Studios and Seed Studios. They are not exactly known for making the most quality games. Rather, there's hardly any games I can even find or see or even hear about them making. So Disney just kind of put all their eggs in this very loose basket in making this game. Yeah, no, this is all making more sense. Now, the motion controls are alright, and what I really mean is that the aiming of the Wiimote is very finicky. There is also an RPG style of gameplay in this too, where you take on side quests from random characters, and you have to collect these things called power sparks in order to power up these projectors, so you can progress through the world. Now, you can earn these sparks by completing side quests, or finding them randomly, or buying them, and, you know, it's just... okay, cool, whatever, that's fine. You travel through different worlds with their own unique themes, such as Mean Street, Oztown, Mickey Mount Junction, Tomorrow City, fucking Ventureland, and the Lonesome Manor. All of these worlds are awesome, and I think they're very unique and distinct from each other, especially Mickey Junk Mountain. Mickey Junk Mountain, I think, is one of the most interesting worlds because it literally personifies everything that Oswald feels about Mickey. So this whole world is filled to the brim with Mickey Mouse merchandise that has been thrown down in the fucking junkyard because Oswald hates him so much. And you can see all kinds of crazy merchandise, you know, like plushes, TVs, and like video games. There's a fucking Mickey Mousecapade NES cartridge down in the fucking junction you can literally walk on. This is just insane. And honestly, like, the level of like realism they added to this too, you know, like connecting it to the real world is so bizarre, and this game feels like strangely, I don't want to say meta, but it feels like it's making a statement about Mickey Mouse. It's so strange. There are boss fights in this game, and depending on how you approach these boss fights, you can either upgrade your paint capacity or your paint thinner capacity, which is really cool, and I find that to be a nice, unique way of going about, battling bosses and shit. There's multiple different ways of fighting bosses, especially with how the paint system works. Now, if you use the blue paint on enemies, you can essentially make them your friends and allies. That's cool. And you can also use the paint thinner to just completely disintegrate them and fucking eradicate them from existence. That's cooler. But one thing that I do find interesting, though, is that in one of the boss fights with Captain Hook, he's an animatronic Captain Hook. Now there are two methods of beating him. You could either just fight him mano-a-mano, or you could go save Tinkerbell, and then Pete Pan, or like big ol' fat Peter Pan, which is actually Pete, but he's dressed up as Peter Pan because why the fuck not? Go through this bullshit obstacle course, save Tinkerbell, Captain Hook is taken care of by him. So you can pretty much just skip that boss fight and move on. Now, I find that to be a really cool way, but honestly, I should have just killed Captain Hook myself, because this obstacle course was complete bullshit and annoying as fuck. Okay, so this is the thing that I fucking hate about this platforming in this game. The camera feels so wrong. I always feel like I'm either too close or too far away, and the way that the camera is structured, it just doesn't feel right. And not to mention, Mickey feels like my 600-pound life. He is so fucking heavy. I mean, he just feels so heavy. I can hardly even jump with him or move him around. And the collision detection too just feels like whatever. Like, sure, okay, we'll land here. Okay, no, we're not gonna land here. It just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong, and it just feels like it's unfinished. I want to say about 80% of this game is just flinging paint thinner out to try to find any kind of secret or try to find any kind of thing around here that is involved in side quests. Honestly, look, if you're going into this game blind, make sure you erase every goddamn thing in this game. Erase every fucking thing, because you will never be able to find these fucking things unless you do it. It's so hidden, but they're so hidden in just such obscure locations, and I can't fucking stand it. Like it feels like a mess. It feels like it's not structured well and organized, sort of like my arguments. That's how this game made me feel. It made me feel like I was a mess, trying to like run everywhere and pick up all these pieces and then try to put it back together and just, and just haphazardly. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good to do this. The biggest thing that I fucking hate, it's the way you travel to different worlds. You will be going through these levels over and over and over and over again, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The lack of a fast travel system is just ridiculous. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Now, I understand why they put them in there and made it that way, so you could farm these little Disney tickets and, just try to make some money to go buy whatever you need from the shops. Anyways, so doing these side quests and going through the same gameplay loop, trying to find these power sparks, trying to do these side quests, and going through the same levels over and over again to essentially get to the next world or to get to this next segment where I need to be in this next map or the next sandbox, whatever the fuck I want to say. I'm losing my fucking mind right now because this game just drags on and it feels such a slog to get through, man. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. And it's one of those things where I feel like, again, this game should have been either given to an actual game development company that actually knows how to make video games, or hear me out, make this an animated series and then that's it. So many fundamental problems when it comes to game design, yet it's so charming nonetheless. Like, honestly, like if you ask me, I would give this game like a 6 out of 10. I give this game a 6 out of 10 because, and the only reason why it's a 6 is because the story is good and it has a really good art style. That is it. The music is good, everything else is fine. It's just the actual gameplay is fucking dog shit.
Welcome back to Call the Boys Painting Program. You see, while little old Matthew was doing his video, I decided to, finish the story I was telling about this little rat bastard. Now, this is a representation of the ending of my little story with Mickey Mouse. You see, I set off a little mouse trap waiting for the little fucker, and what happened was he found the cheese, right, and then he sprung the spring trap, and now he's part of the show now. And I'm sure that Minnie Mouse is wondering where Mickey is, and she is never going to see him again. In fact, this is probably the last that she'll ever see of him, as I have disposed of the body properly, of course. Yeah, we're just going to try to touch up that again. That's beautiful right there. That's son of a bitch! You fucking little dipshit, man! Oh, okay, alright. Everything is just right. Alright, now we're just gonna let that paint dry for a little bit and try to rectify certain inadequacies. But it's okay. It's gonna be alright, as a little old Bob Ross once said, we don't make mistakes, we make happy little accidents, and that's what that was a happy little accident. Every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it can bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe it can bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart.